Hi everyone, it's Dr. Dave from Dr. Dave's 411, and I'm coming to you from New York, the epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, the hottest question these days about COVID-19 is, should we get tested? Should we undergo a COVID-19 antibody or serology test? And the answer seems initially on the surface, of course, but upon further analysis, I think we need to take a step back and understand, what does the testing really mean? Okay, so what are antibodies? Antibodies tell us that we were exposed to an infection. So if you have positive COVID-19 antibodies, it tells us that you were exposed to COVID-19. So this is important because 50% of patients who are carriers of COVID-19 are asymptomatic. Now, what does a negative test mean? Well, we're not exactly sure. We think a negative test means that you were not exposed to COVID-19, but, and I say but, 7 to 14 days is the amount of time it takes for the body to develop antibodies. So you can be exposed to COVID-19, and if you get tested too early within the 7 to 14 days, you can come back negative, and that's not accurate. So that would be a false negative. What about positive? If you have positive COVID antibody testing, it tells us that you were exposed to the COVID-19 virus. But here's the issue, and this is really critical. Just because you were exposed to COVID-19 does not mean that you are protected. We just don't know. We don't know if the antibodies are going to protect you from a repeat infection with the COVID-19 virus. So that is really critical. So then the question is, why test? Well, two reasons. Number one is, if you're positive, then you could lend or donate your plasma and antibodies to somebody who is symptomatic with COVID, who is suffering, who is fighting the COVID-19 virus. Number two is knowing. The more people we test, the better idea we're going to get of how prevalent COVID-19 really is. So at the end of the day, I do think we're going to find that antibody testing is helpful, but we haven't figured out exactly how and how to use it. So yes, if you think you should go get tested, but please understand what the results mean. Until next time, this is Dr. Dave.